Bill Reiter, Kenny White weighing in. Guys, T-Wolves making their second playoff appearance in 18 seasons. That's following an emotional play-in victory. Some sights and some sounds that we won't soon forget in that one. Grizzlies here proving that they can win in multiple ways this season, tying a franchise record with 56 victories. Memphis is laying 6.5 in game one, total upwards of 236.5. And it might be worth noting when looking at that number, all 6 play-in matchups did go under the number. Bill Reiter, what's your read on this series opener?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Kenny bonding theory here for a Timberwolves team that was down 7 when Karl Anthony Towns fouled out of the game, the win that got them here, the win against the Clippers a few nights ago. This isn't a great Minnesota team, but it is a good team. And while I think Memphis is a legitimate contender, top 6 in offensive rating, top 6 in defensive rating, all of those things are supposed to add up to being a real championship contender. They really are. Another truism in the NBA and talking to GMs around the league, some who are skeptical about Memphis, is when you're this young and your core is this young, it's usually a process. I think the process goes fast for Memphis, but maybe not so fast they don't feel some jitters that first game. We saw Anthony Edwards play like a superstar. 6.5 is a huge number. I'm not sure the Timberwolves win. Pretty sure they cover in a pretty close game for 2 interesting young teams, one with title championship hopes that are real, one that aren't, but will feel that momentum from that win over the Los Angeles Clippers.
You know, we're always trying to find unders here in the playoffs, but because these games mean so much. But some of these games do go over. And this one, if this was a regular season game, my total on this game would be 252 points. 2 of the fastest teams in the entire NBA. 2 teams that are far better offensively. Well, Minnesota's far better offensively than they're on the defensive end. 30-11 this year, Minnesota over in their road games. 30-11. Was a ATM machine. Anytime they played on the road, I was over on them. And I'm going to go over today because my number, I even shaved 6 points off. I still made it 246. Great offense from both teams. I think this is going to be a great shootout. It'll get defensive late, but you don't want to be way too late to get it under because the first 3 quarters are going to be extremely high scoring.
Another NBA truism and an HQ truism, Bill Reiter, is that when Kenny White plays overs, you jump on those as well because there are numbers behind it and there is a reason for that play. He's always trying to lean to the under, always trying to find that sort of edge. So when he goes over, I listen and walk to the window as well. Kenny, how about?
I was shocked.
Yeah. Bill?
I'll let you know in 6 hours whether that rule becomes a Bill Reiter rule as well.
It doesn't take long to set it in stone, but we'll see if it comes to pass here on Saturday. How about player props here, guys? One that jumps off the board at you, Kenny. Somewhere where your number offers us some wiggle room relative to the book's number.
Yeah, these kept me up late last night, and these numbers are tight. There's not a lot of wiggle room in a lot of these props, but, you know, without John Morant, when him missing some games this year, it is nice to be able to go and compare and see what other players did with him and without him in the lineup. Well, Desmond Bane was a guy that had a 4-point difference in his scoring, 21 points per game without, 17 points with. Those are median numbers, and right now Desmond Bane at 19.5 for today's game. I think he's the guy that, you know, he just lacks off 2-3 points of his normal scoring. So I'll go under with Bane.
Leaning on, I think, the really good insight that Kenny made a few minutes ago, this Minnesota defense is atrocious. I know Memphis' defense is good, but the T-Wolves' defense is atrocious. And the way they make up for that is pace of play. They like to get out and run. They're going to try to drive the possessions up as much as they can. And I think that combined with the fact that we saw in the play-in game for the T-Wolves against the Clippers that Anthony Edwards and not Karl Anthony Towns is the real star of the team, certainly the closer of the team, I think means that 22.5. While all these numbers are tight, for me, it's an over. If you're that coach, if you're that organization, maybe most importantly, if you're Anthony Edwards, what he did at the end of that game showed that he can be and will be the guy. I think he gets a lot of shots off tonight. I think he's brimming with a lot of confidence. I know he's a young dude. He's a star in the making. He's the best player in that team, and I like his point over at 22.5.
All right, so targeting Anthony Edwards there. If we want to take our target towards the series price, Wolves offering you better than 3-1 value here. Bill, how are you attacking the series?
I've got a few rules. One is I don't bet on Karl Anthony Towns teams on a regular basis. I think, for me, the question with Memphis is whether or not, with their youth, they're good enough to win the whole thing. I don't think there is a question of whether or not they can even not just win, dominate this series. I like Memphis. I put a little bit of money down specifically on Memphis in 5. You've got to get lucky in those kind of bets. But I think this is a team that might have some jitters in the first game, and then they roll. They have been extraordinary this year. They were extraordinary without John Morant, who's obviously going to play. This is a really good Memphis team that I think a lot of folks haven't watched. They are markedly better than the team they'll be playing. That's why they're the 2 seed, and I think they dominate this series.
Yeah, complete agreement, Bill. Memphis is, I think, ready to really roll here. Their year was great defensively because they got the big guy in the middle, Jackson, to really dominate the rim. They've got scorers small over. Brooks, another great outside player that can defend. I like their continuity. They're connected defensively. They're connected offensively. It's very hard to find a team that young that's able to play that good a defense. I think they're ready to go, and I think you're right. Karl Anthony Towns has been a little bit of an underachiever. We saw the talent in the NBA shootout, that he wins the three-point shootout. But you know what? When it comes into big games like this, seems to kind of disappear. And Minnesota's had a good year, but they've run into too good of a freight train here in the Memphis Grizzlies.
All right, our favorites in on the favorites. Let's take a look at those picks once again from Bill Reiter and Kenny White. Bill here, game one between the T-Wolves and the Grizz. He's taking the 6.5 with the Timberwolves. Maybe a feeling out process will make for a close game one. Game one prop, Ant-Man over his 22.5 points. Series price. If you want to get specific and offer some plus money here, games 4 or 5, he thinks it gets done in, plus 550 and plus 250 respectively. Kenny White is playing it over the 236.5. Point prop is Desmond Bane under his 19.5, and he likes the Grizzlies, and he's paying the price.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.